Welcome to the Shimmykami Episode 2 Player Analysis featuring Problem X, the Obliterator.
Bow down before my psychopath.
So I've been watching a lot of his matches already, and the main thing I noticed is that he favors the particular playstyle of control. Here we can already see that his opponent is getting flustered and eventually finds himself being positioned in the corner. Now once Problem X has you in the corner, this is where his control really starts to shine. Usually he will not overextend and commit to his offense here. He will often just stand right outside of your spacing and just comfortably wait for you to decide what to do. Let's pay attention to how he's utilizing Abigail's jab checks. Not only this is keeping his opponent out, but it's almost interrupting most of his attacks. Honestly, as I observe more of his gameplay, it's as if Problem X is usually in control against his opponents. See how this entire time he has been in control of the match? I'm gonna cut it off here and show another example where not only he had the life lead, but with most top players, they don't need to overextend when they have such a big advantage over their opponent. As mentioned before, he didn't overextend, he just took his mix-up and backed off. So now he is waiting on what his opponent wants to do. Now maybe for some of you wondering, well, how are we going to beat a player like Problem X when most of the times he's in control of the match? And you know what? We'll find out with the next clips I've gathered for you here.
Bow down before my psychopath.
Round one. Fight!
His playstyle is the same concept even when playing his main character, Bison. But generally, Problem X is very successful to players who can utilize their rushdowns. Ryu was playing very aggressive at the beginning, so it was forcing him to change his pacing of the game. Just look at how offensive Ryu is. Problem X hasn't pressed anything in this specific sequence yet. I want to mention that not only he's patient when he needs to be, but his defense plays a big part in his overall playstyle. Sometimes he will find the will to block and wait for his turn to come, which is a great mindset to have. We're going to see a couple more examples here, and then we'll do a recap on how we should approach the Obliterator. In this sequence we just saw, remember how we talked about control? He's doing the same thing here with Bison. By letting him set the pacing of the game, we'll usually find ourselves stuck in the corner until we cannot bear the pressure anymore. Now if we want to counteract this, we create our own pacing of the game with an offensive approach. This was a perfect example of how we should approach Problem X. Guile adapted and decided to rush him down. Again, if we can utilize our offensive tools against him, we can make him switch gears when he doesn't really need to. Let's pay attention to how he adapts in the last clip.
Final round. Fight. And Bison wins.
Damn, that was fast, right? If his opponent was able to keep the same pacing and energy when he took a round off of him, the outcome may have been a bit different. We're gonna stop right here and do a quick breakdown. So we've already mentioned a couple of times, Problem X's playstyle is full on control, strategical positioning, spacing, in which allows him to find gaps to close in on you. Once he has you in the corner though, that's where he really starts to work his magic. So if you find yourself defending against him more than usual, take a step back and reflect on why you're defending. Now some tips I recommend would be playing more offensive and not let him decide the pace of the game. We see that he can switch his playstyle whenever he wants and adjust accordingly each match. Not many players can achieve this aspect because usually it's hard to find the right balance. The moment you show any hesitation, he will hunt you down. The moment you show any dominance, he will gladly wait for his turn to come. Now that sounds like a difficult opponent, right? With some of the clips we saw, playing more aggressive really worked out, but the strategy is to retain that aggression and gradually increase the pacing as the game progresses. If we don't show any sign of offense, it would be difficult to close out any games against him. Remember, utilize the offensive tools your character has and develop your own pace of the game, rather than trying to match the pace of his. Thanks for tuning into this week's player analysis. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also, let me know in the comments below who you want to see next. As always, you can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, or even support my Patreon. I'll see you all in the next episode.